Looking through recent photos of Caitlin Clark, the first thing that stands out is how naturally she occupies the frame. There's a clear sense of presence, not in an exaggerated or cinematic way, but in the straightforward reality of an elite athlete being captured in everyday environments. The camera doesn't feel overwhelmed so much as it feels honest, showing someone whose height, posture, and athletic build are immediately noticeable without needing any dramatic styling or forced angles. What makes these images interesting is how they shift perception depending on context. In solo shots, she appears composed and grounded, while in wider frames, with surroundings or other people, her proportions become more apparent. It's less about illusion and more about contrast, how an athletic frame naturally reads differently in normal settings compared to a basketball court. Physical presence and framing. A recurring theme in these visuals is posture, shoulders set, head level, and a stance that suggests readiness even in stillness. That combination tends to give athletes a distinct visual identity, and Caitlin Clark is no exception. The effect is subtle but consistent. She looks aware of space without trying to dominate it. In side-by-side or environment-based shots, the scale difference people often notice is simply a product of perspective and athletic conditioning rather than anything exaggerated. Tall athletes can appear especially striking when placed in everyday architecture like hallways, door frames, or casual group settings. Here, the images reflect that reality clearly, without needing embellishment. It's a reminder of how much context shapes perception in photography. Styling, lighting, and composition. The styling in these photos stays intentionally simple. Athletic wear and casual outfits are fitted in a way that supports movement and comfort rather than drawing attention through excess detail. That simplicity actually helps the visual focus remain on posture and form rather than clothing. Lighting plays an equally important role. Natural and soft artificial light sources highlight contours without over-processing the image. Shadows and highlights define structure in a way that feels grounded and realistic. There's no heavy editing aesthetic, just clean, straightforward composition that keeps the subject central without overwhelming the viewer. Compositionally, many shots rely on balance, negative space, neutral backgrounds, and framing that allows movement or stillness to feel intentional. It gives the images a documentary feel rather than a stylized portrait approach. Expression, personality, and overall impression. Facial expressions across the set vary slightly, ranging from focused to relaxed. That range is part of what makes the images feel authentic rather than staged. There's a sense of someone comfortable being observed but not performing for the camera. What comes through most clearly is composure. Even in casual or in-between moments, there's an athlete's awareness, calm, attentive, and mentally present. It doesn't read as an attempt to project intensity. Instead, it feels like a natural extension of competitive experience. Overall, the collection of images doesn't rely on dramatic framing or exaggerated storytelling. Instead, it presents a straightforward look at how an elite basketball player appears outside of competition settings. The impression left is simple: strong physical presence, grounded posture, and a quiet confidence that translates clearly through still photography without needing anything more than natural context and clean composition.